If you have recently been dipping your foot into the abstract world, chances are you have already or will soon get lost into this rabbit hole. There is so much to learn through philosophy that one cannot consume everything in an entire lifetime. Philosophy is deep. It can be dark, but it can also show you parts of your personality and the world as a whole, which you never knew before. If you have started taking an interest in philosophy, we suggest that you see it through and learn as much as you can. Welcome to Purple Hippo, and today we bring you What is Epicureanism? Before we start, subscribe to Purple Hippo and ring that bell icon to get notifications whenever we upload a new video. Grab some food, get comfortable, and open your mind to all that philosophy has to offer. A Greek man from Athens who was born between 300 and 350 BC. He soon came to be known as the founding father of the school of thought named after him. Epicurus came to be known as one of the most famous Greek thinkers due to his role in the philosophy of happiness and pleasure. You might have heard some of the absurd rumors about him, as his love for food and sex, but it was never confirmed. It was merely assumed that he would have delved into a fair amount of gluttony and other worldly pleasures, since he was thinking deeply into happiness and pleasure. He has a few theories about some of the common things which are said to make us happy. It is often thought that sexual and romantic relationships are major sources of happiness in our lives. Though this may be the case for some, the majority do not support this idea. This statement is still according to him. He suggests that people want to be appreciated and understood, such as how one would be in a close friendship. A romantic relationship comes with too many strings attached. Therefore, you cannot really achieve full happiness. He also believed that money isn't the root of happiness. Though it can help us give us a comfortable life, happiness is not at the bottom of the pot of gold. He suggested that work and labor should not be looked at in terms of monetary value, rather than the service you provide, thus suggesting that everyone plays a role in society, one which aren't even aware of. Once they realize how important their role is, they might find happiness. So what does Epicureanism even dictate? This school of thought looks at optimizing pleasure and reducing pain as much as possible in life, and living a comfortable life, a good life, free of negative consequences and effects. Since they did not particularly believe in God or the afterlife, they looked at fulfilling themselves as much as possible within this life. This meant living a pleasurable and happy life, which, as we mentioned before, was free of pain and suffering of any kind. You would think that Epicureans would go all out, party it up, and live like there's no tomorrow, right? Well, you're wrong. They believed in indulging themselves, but in moderation. They limited their desires as much as they could, yet still engaged in them enough to draw pleasure and fulfillment from them. So you can see that they were also limiting the negative effects that comes with overindulgence through the limitation of pleasure. Finally, one of their core beliefs is that they do not want harm done to themselves. Society and other people try and hurt us for various reasons: personal gains, animosity, or random reasons that don't explain. The Epicureans believe that this pain is something they cannot tolerate and would want to get away from however possible. They believe that they as people do not want to harm others in a way. Therefore, if they don't want to harm others, no harm will come upon them. This theory of moderation makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Say you are out drinking with a bunch of friends. Overindulging yourself now will obviously lead to a pretty painful morning for you. Therefore, though you are attaining pleasure, the negative pain that comes the morning after might completely trivialize the entire night, which you just had. Moderating your fun for the night would have given you a memorable experience as well as reduce the pain from the hangover the night after. Moreover, in situations like this, you're most likely to remember the negative effects from the night before. thus taking away the essence of happiness and pleasure which you were looking for in the first place. Do you think this is something we can adopt to our everyday lives? Sure, we see how it most certainly does make sense, but does that really apply to everyone? Does the same principle apply to people who barely ever experience worldly pleasures? Do they practice modesty as well, not knowing if a chance like this would ever come again? Perhaps the majority of the population can implement some of these ideologies, but maybe this isn't for everyone. We can see stark issues with those who never get to experience the joys of life. They shouldn't have to abstain from pleasure the way someone who often does. Tell us what you think. Do you think Epicureanism applies to everyone? Does it have a place in the modern industrial society? Maybe it is a rather individual philosophy than one which applies to the masses. We hope that you have enjoyed our video and understood what philosophy is all about. Delving deeper into Epicureanism, you might find some of the answers which you have been relating to when it comes to happiness and pleasure. Let us know what you think about the ideology and its place in the modern world. Is it for the masses or for the individual? Subscribe to Purple Hippo and ring that bell icon to get regular updates on the latest videos we upload. See you in the next video.